Player props here. PrizePicks Friday, April 4th. Before we get started, take a look in the description below of the video. Hop into the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. That's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. Super positive community. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members. 20% off your first month. It comes out to like $6 a day, or $6 total for the first 30 days. So again, link in the description below for that. Coming off a 1-1 night, we cashed on the Dembona fantasy. And then John Morant, just no RA. He actually was just looking to score, and Miami was actually letting him. So 1-1 last night, looking to bounce back today for a 2-0 night. Again, follow me on Twitter, by the way. Tough picks. Yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. So the first play I'm looking at here is a fantasy score line. It's going to be Norman Powell, over 26.5 fantasy. Again, I'm going to keep this video as brief and concise as possible. But looking at this matchup here, Clippers Dallas, 10-point spread for the Clippers. Obviously, if AD plays, I think this line will move to obviously a much closer game. But Norman Powell, he's back in the lineup playing 30-plus minutes tonight, right? He missed a ton of games due to injury. Not a ton of games, but let's actually refresh this. He missed a decent amount of games. I think he missed like 7+ games or something like that due to injury, or 1, 2, 3. Yes, exactly 7. But you can see here the minutes have increased now. He's seen 30+ in, 5 of his last 6. And obviously, this is a pretty low line for a player like Norman Powell, who can really fill it up, rather quickly. We look at the splits for him: 21, 2, and 2 at home this season, slightly less at home compared to on the road. But I just love this spot. We look over on Outlier. Again, there's a link in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial. At 26.5, Norman Powell's over this line in 78% of games, 43 of 55, averaging 31.9 fantasy points. And then you can see the matchups versus the Clippers this season. He's absolutely torched the Clippers. He's over in 2 of 2 this season, 51.9 and 42 fantasy points in the 2 games versus the Clippers, both on the road. Right, so now you get to this home matchup versus the Mavericks. Obviously, AD is going to be playing in this one, which obviously increases Dallas's interior defense, but I think it actually weakens their perimeter defense as far as outside scoring, right? Because these defenders kind of know that they have AD in the paint. I think I don't know, it kind of just changes the whole mentality, I think, for a lot of those perimeter defenders. But Norman Powell, like I said, in an elite spot, in my opinion. We look at shooting guards; they've been really cooking the Mavericks. This is literally just in the month of March. If you look at these dates, look at some of these games for shooting guards: Desmond Bain 69, Josh Hart 50, Jalen Green 48, Vassell 45, Kevin Porter Jr. 44 in 26 minutes for Dallas. Quentin Grimes 42, Nembhard 38, Booker 38, Kobe White 37, Vassell 36. I mean, at 26.5, I mean, 14 since March, I think March 3rd. So in the last month, 14 different shooting guards have cleared the over on this line of 30+ fantasy points. And you can see all these different guys and kind of how they're this is the fantasy score line column and kind of how they ended up doing. So this is obviously a great spot. Norman Powell has cooked Dallas. Actually, I think 2 of his best games of the season have come against Dallas, right? If his best game of the season, 51.9, came against Dallas, and then even one of his top 13 games, 42 fantasy against Dallas as well. And then just to look at this, like the line he would need: 14, 3, 3, 2 steals. Clears the over on this line. And I do expect this game to be pretty competitive as well. So this is the first play. Neither one of these teams on a back-to-back. Second play is a very interesting one. It's going to be a first half prop, and it's going to be a PRA. And I'm looking at, honestly, it is a weird one. I'm looking at Jackson Hayes over 6.5 first half PRA. Now this is a weird one because the hit rate is not there. If you look at the last 5 on PrizePicks, right? 5, 3, 5. I mean, he's been productive, but Houston and Memphis, 2 of the better interior defensive teams. And then Golden State plays small, so he lost out on minutes there. And he did not play a ton of minutes last night. The Lakers are on the second night of a back-to-back, so I'm expecting him to get a little bit more run in this one. I could also see Rui Hachimura sitting in this one as well after, he's been sitting back-to-backs and kind of been on the injury report with that, I believe it's the hamstring or quad. But centers versus the Pelicans have been an elite spot. And we look at Jackson Hayes. He's over in 11 of his last 20. All right, 55% hit rate. Excuse me. But you can see how the Pelicans match up: 6 most points, most rebounds, second most assists to the center position this season. They also allow, over the last, I think, 10 games or so, they're allowing the fifth most total points to the center position in the NBA, as well as rebounds to the center position, the fifth most as well. So just obviously they get cooked by the center position. But Jackson Hayes, earlier this season, his former team, just literally a month ago, 27 first half PRA. 27 first half PRA for Jackson Hayes. He played 16 minutes in that one. I'm expecting at least 10 minutes from him in this one. But like I said, 16 minutes a month ago, 27 PRA in the first half versus the New Orleans Pelicans. We look at centers, first half PRA game log versus the Pelicans this season, with logging at least 8+ minutes. And again, this is all continuing in the month of March. We've seen 23 different centers clearly over on this line of at least just 7 PRA. That's all we need from him tonight. 7 PRA from Jackson Hayes in the first half. I think it's a great spot. And let's just do one more little search here. Let's do Jackson Hayes. He plays 10+ minutes because that's what I do think he's going to exceed tonight. This season, logging 10+ minutes. I do think he's going to see 10+ first half minutes, honestly, tonight. And he's over on this line in 19 of 24 games. So again, it's a great spot, great matchup. Obviously, his former team, going back to it, he didn't play a ton last night compared to the rest of the Lakers starters. So I like Jackson Hayes over 6.5 first half here, right? Okay, please drop a like, hit that subscribe button. You guys check out all the links in the description below. And as always, let's cash.